Ring that gavel.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for tomorrow.
Okay, let's go ahead and it's great to see so many of you here tonight. This is pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, August 5th, 2019, 7 p.m. Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Patke.
Here.
Pettit.
Here.
Scornia. Sullentrup.
Here.
Wessels.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meeting dated July 15th, 2019? Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Patke.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
Sullentrup.
Yes.
Wessels.
Yes.
Having read the minutes, are there any comments or questions? Any corrections?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Patke, seconded by Heidrich, to approve the minutes from our last meeting dated July 15, 2019. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the minutes. Thank you.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the collector's report summary for March 2019, investment report summary for March 2019, and a final pay request for CV Contractors, Inc. for roofing package G.
Are there any questions or comments regarding those items?
If not, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Heidrich, seconded by Pettit, to approve the items on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the items. Thank you.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments, and reappointments. Special police appointments, 2019 Town and Country Fair.
Okay, in your packet this evening is a listing of those special officers for the Washington Town and Country Fair.
It's a list we present every year for special officers we call in to help us work the fair and keep it safe for all the people attending, especially the families.
So those officers, most of them, or many of them, are from the sheriff's office.
Department, and there's from a couple other agencies also.
So, also from Sullivan PD,
Sullivan,
Owensville.
New Haven, Potosi. They come from all over to work for us. So.
Okay. And they are we are reimbursed by the chair,
Yes.
Chamber.
by the chamber for their services.
Correct.
So, anyway, so should we read them?
You can. We can read them.
Okay. So from Franklin County Sheriff's Office, we have James Cross, Daryl Floyd, Brittany Schrepfer, Jason Schmeltz, Laura Creech, Matthew Cooper, Andrew Rosencutter, Nicholas Manhart, Chad Johnmeyer, and Gage Turk. From Sullivan, Devin Sutterfield and Jack Allen, Joshua Smith and Bren Finley from Owensville, James Birmingham from New Haven, and Chris Flora from Potosi. That's a long distance.
He used to work for us.
That's what I
It's,
thought.
I thought. So, anyway. Okay, so, any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Patke, seconded by Heidrich, to approve the appointment as the special police officers for the Washington Town and Country Fair, August 7th through 11th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the appointments. Thank you.
Police Department appointment, patrol officer.
Eric Dobelman, can you come forward, please?
There he is.
Council, this is Eric Dobelman. Eric served with the city before for 11 years, from officer to lieutenant. He left here in 2008 as a lieutenant, opened and owned business in drug testing, and was a reservist with the Franklin County Drug Task Force for a while, most of that time that he was gone. Has expressed a desire again to get back into police work. He misses it, misses the people that work here and the camaraderie in the city. He is a great gentleman, a great applicant, and I know he'll perform just as well as he did when he was here earlier. So I would recommend he be appointed.
Okay. Welcome. Yeah, very good. Okay, any questions or comments?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Pettit, to approve the appointment of Eric Dobelman as a patrol officer for a 6-month term beginning August 6th and ending on February 6,
Yes,
2020.
That's his probationary term, and then he'll
Probation.
come again before for reappointment for another 6 months.
Right. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
There'll
By your
be a-
vote, you approve the appointment. Thank you.
There'll be a pinning ceremony if you're interested at 9 o'clock in the upstairs Marbach.
Okay,
And he takes his oath and the mayor pins the badge on him, so in case
Okay.
anybody wants to attend.
yeah. Well, welcome back. Nice to know you came back.
Police Department promotion, patrol officer to sergeant.
Officer Mike Grissom,
Hey, Jim.
Mayor, can you come up here, please?
I can?
He did what I told him. He dressed wonderful. So we went through a long process of interviews and answering questions. The sergeant staff was involved in all these interviews and that, and picking this pick. And all the staff agreed of everyone we looked at. We had 4 individuals that applied for the sergeant's position. Mike Grissom performed exemplary. He has always done that throughout the time he's been with us and worked here. Any job we've ever given him, he gives it his all and does a fantastic job. And so we're recommending and requesting he be promoted to sergeant.
I'll make a motion. Second.
So we have a motion by Packey, seconded by Hydra, to approve the appointment of Mike Grissom as sergeant. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So you approve the appointment of the promotion, I guess, right? You've already appointed.
Mike's the family's in Florida, so we do a pinning for the promotions also. So the mayor's going to pin his sergeant's badge on it.
Big party there tomorrow night.
Don't scream at the pin.
It is.
Glad dark shirt won't show any blood.
Oh.
What you need that vest for?
Didn't want to stick you, Mike.
There it is.
Trying to look all serious.
All right.
Police Department promotion, sergeant to lieutenant.
Sergeant Balladeer, step forward. We went through an extensive process again. We had 5 applicants for the lieutenant's position. That is all the sergeants on our department. Having such wonderful individuals work for you, either as officers or sergeants, always makes it hard to make a selection. So you have to get down to the finer points of who does this a little better, who does that a little better, and gradually get to your choice. And so Darrell Balladeer was the choice by and far, the right choice, the good choice. He will do a wonderful job as he's always done here. Well-known in the community, well-known with our officers in the department and respected, and I trust in his supervision. So I would request he be promoted to lieutenant.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Padkey, seconded by Obermark, to accept the promotion of Darrell Balladeer to sergeant from, to lieutenant from sergeant to lieutenant. Congratulations. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the promotion.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks, Darrell.
And you can stick him if you want.
We'll see it with the white.
All right. Oh, I don't know.
Take a group shot with your son in there?
G-rated.
Police Department appointment, reserve officer.
Nolan Crawford, can you come up, please? Nolan went through the process for officer pick. He did well as an applicant, but we had other individuals we liked a little bit more. But Nolan has expressed a large desire to work for the city of Washington. One of the ways to get more involved and get to let us get a further look is for him to join a reserve. That way we get to see how he does on the road, how he interacts with people, what kind of job he does. So when we consider looking at officer candidates in the future, he's already got a foot in the door, so to speak. So I'm requesting that you appoint him as a reserve officer with the city of Washington, and he will be a benefit to the city. And we also get a chance to look at a candidate for the future, so.
Okay, very good. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Pettit, seconded by Hydrich, to approve the appointment of Nolan Crawford as reserve officer. This will be for a 6-month term and then a renewal of a 6-month term.
His will be a year term since
It is
he's
your,
reserve.
it is.
Since
do I
he's
know?
reserve.
Reserve is a
He's
year?
on a limited field training, so he has a job in that, so our field training can't be as extensive.
stand
It
corrected.
takes a lot longer, so.
All right, very good, thank you. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the appointment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Change your mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Citizens' comments. Diane Tyler request, short-term rental, 1518 Riverview Drive.
There's a letter within your packet from the applicant. If you'll recall, at the last council meeting, this was back in,
Just-
I believe.
Hey, thank you all for being here. It's good to see you all. Thank you very much. Okay.
So back on, I believe it was July 15th, was that our last council meeting, Mary? Thank you. I think we had a vote on an ordinance for short-term rental at 1518 Riverview Drive. As a result of such, we did not have 5 affirmative votes. There was only 4 affirmative votes to 3. We didn't have a full council that night. So Mark had instructed that the applicant could request to have a council member go ahead and bring that up again for an ordinance review, and then if so, then we could have an ordinance at the next council meeting on, that would be August the 19th. There would not be a public hearing again. This would just be another vote by the council since we only had so many members there. So, but that's up to you. It's my understanding, Mark, that they need to go ahead and vote in order to put the ordinance back up on there, correct?
That's right. You need a motion and a second and a majority vote to bring it back for reconsideration next meeting.
Is it just a majority vote in the sense of 4 votes to 3?
Yes.
Okay,
To bring it back.
to bring it back.
It still requires 5 to approve the ordinance.
So does someone make a motion then?
So if someone wishes,
Okay,
Bring it back.
okay. We have a motion by Holtmeyer. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Pettit, to bring this item back up again for another vote.
what you think?
Do a roll call vote.
We'll do a roll call vote.
Hydrich,
Nay.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Obermark,
Aye.
Patke,
Aye.
Pettit,
Aye.
Sullentrup,
Yeah.
Wessels.
Yes.
Okay, by your vote, you approved that request, so that would be on our next agenda.
The same ordinance.
Same
well, not the
ordinance.
Same, but the same basic ordinance will be back on the meeting on August 19th.
Okay, all right. Is Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council under citizens discussion?
Report of department heads.
Did you have anything, John?
I do not.
Okay.
I'll address the earlier meeting.
Sal? No? Okay.
Ordinances, resolutions. An ordinance of the City of Washington, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials.
Introduced by?
Pettit.
Introduced by Councilwoman Pettit. All those in, oh no. So this is the item for the
Annual.
annual, this is an annual conflict of interest.
Oh, this isn't nothing, this is what we do every year.
We do this
I'm
every
sorry, I
year.
thought
So this is nothing new. That's
Nothing
what I was
new.
wondering
No,
also.
this is
Sorry,
nothing new. This is the annual renewal of the fact that we abide by the conflict of interest and
Something changed.
all that. So nothing has changed, it's just an annual thing. Any questions or comments?
An ordinance of the City of Washington, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officials. Heidrich.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Sullentrop. Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Wessels.
Yes.
Petke.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending Chapter 505, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 5, Excavations, Section 505.840, Method Generally, Backfilling and Resurfacing of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri.
Heidrich.
Introduced by Councilman Heidrich. John?
So we discussed this at the last council meeting regarding the final completion when you do a street excavation is the top of with cold mix asphalt, which should alleviate some of the pothole concerns in some of our trenches and whatnot. I failed to actually have the ordinance on that, so I apologize. So that's why it's here tonight. It's just the ordinance that followed that discussion.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance amending Chapter 505, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 5, Excavations, Section 505.840, Method Generally, Backfilling and Resurfacing of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri. Heidrich.
Aye.
Obermark.
Aye.
Sullentrop.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Wessels.
Yes.
Petke.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and CoStar Information.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
So this is a contract with CoStar Information to allow us access to a new software database. We actually met with this company, or I met with them about 6 months ago to test the software. It allows us to have information on all retail and office space, not only in Washington, but also in the St. Louis region. We get the data for all of St. Louis MSA. Right now, we really don't have any information when someone calls and says, hey, what office space is available, what retail space is available. We honestly just have to tell them to call around or go to CoStar and see what's advertised. CoStar and LoopNet are two different sites that allow people to advertise on there for free. Any listing that they have, and people all over the nation use it, but there's a St. Louis office of it. And the reason it's free is that allows CoStar LoopNet to collect the data and then sell the data to municipalities and economic development organizations like us. So not only will I have just good data, useful data that I can find out about the city. You can draw an area on a map and see what the price per square foot is in that neighborhood. You can see what the vacancy rate is, but it also allows us to have information, like I said, to St. Louis. So if I know we have maybe a office opening up that would be perfect for a, say, a law firm, I can go into this database, find a law firm that has a lease that's up, say, in the next 60 days, and send out a just kind of a pitch to them, hey, if you're looking for cheaper space, here's something available in Washington. So it kind of allows us to do some cherry picking. It was fairly cheap. Annual cost was, I believe, $4,100. And so for a software like that, we thought that was worth a while. We could do a 1-year trial base. That was the lowest. You could do longer, but for cheaper rate, we said let's do a 1 year and make sure it's useful for us. It is budgeted in this 19-20 budget. They were allowing us to basically use it early. The contract will say October 1, but we'll have access to it because there's some training. They'll come in and install it and train us, so.
Any questions or comments?
How accurate is this? I mean,
Well, so he showed it to us, or showed it to me when he went through, and we have a lot of this information for downtown only because we know that's what Downtown Inc. does. They track all of that. And so he drew the boundaries around the downtown district and ran the report, and it reflected everything we knew about downtown. So it did match.
gotcha. Thank you.
We've used them before. I will say when I was in that position, CoStar would regularly call up, get the database, and it's pretty much, whatever you put into it, you get back out of it, But it's not anything new. CoStar's been around for
Right.
quite some time. That's the one thing.
We just never paid for the actual data to have the software itself downloaded.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and CoStar Information. Heidrich?
Aye.
Obermark?
Aye.
Sullentrup?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Wessels?
Yes.
Petke?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance amending the 2019 budget by the City of Washington, Missouri.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
This is the item we talked about in the workshop to go ahead and transfer those funds in the library so that they can go ahead and start doing some of those computer improvements.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance amending the 2019 budget by the City of Washington, Missouri. Heidrich?
Aye.
Obermark?
Aye.
Sullentrup?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Wessels?
Yes.
Petke?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
Mayor's report.
Just a couple comments. First of all, tomorrow evening at 6:30, you may have seen this in the newspaper, but at 6:30 tomorrow evening is a meeting over at the library to discuss the upcoming trip to Marbach, the 30th anniversary trip. So Karen Stratman is arranging that meeting. I believe that the folks from Marbach are arranging an additional tour beyond Marbach, and she's going to talk a little bit about that. But if you have any questions or anything like that about the anniversary, so that's tomorrow evening. I do know that there seems to be quite a buzz going on in the community about the trip, so if any of you are interested in attending that, it's at 6:30. And then also, I've just been fortunate enough in the last few weeks to really hear a lot of great comments about our community and how nice everything looks and all of that. Parks Department and the Weeding Wednesdays crew did an outstanding job of getting us ready for the American in Bloom visit, and there were a lot of volunteers involved with that project, and so kudos to all of them. We're all very fortunate to have that team of volunteers behind us. So anyway, and enjoy the fair. So.
City Administrator's report.
The only thing I have to report, we're finalizing the budget coming up. We'd like to go ahead then and hold a workshop for you prior to your next council meeting at 6 o'clock. That would be at 6 o'clock on August the 19th. That way, if you have any questions, if there's still any questions that you have, I'd request that you get those in pretty quick because, like I said, we're finalizing the numbers this week. So.
Okay.
Council comments.
Any comments? Questions?
Will we receive a preliminary thing on that?
We'll give you an overview at the workshop of what.
At the workshop?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have some in the packet, by chance? Or before the packet?
We could, yes.
That'd be great.
Yep,
Some-
I
they
can
can
go ahead
maybe
and do
by
that.
Friday.
And give you
Yeah,
an
give
overview of the highlights.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep,
that'd be
I can
good.
do
So
that.
you could review it before
Right, before we get here.
before you get here. Okay. Okay, no comments?
City Attorney's report. Public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters pursuant to Section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Heidrich? Obermark?
Aye.
Sullentrup? Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Wessels?
Yes.
Hetzke.
Yes.
Edit.
Yes.
Okay.